82 C10 square body. This is the one. I just need the cab, front end, and possibly the bed. This is ground up as it gets. This thing ought to make around 500 horsepower all day long.
Let's get the shocks, bro.
Yeah. You want to hit the bounty hole? Plenty capable.
1988 Silverado. That is a beautiful truck.
It's a solid 0 to drive.
4 links front and rear on bags. If you're talking bags in Houston, there's only one shop.
So you want a 2,600-pound bag, airlift, 3P, control it all?
Yes, sir.
Easy enough.
That truck will be screaming America in no time.
Boy, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm loving it, man.
I think it's starting to really look like something, you know?
Oh, yeah. The frame come out real good. You know, we finally reached a point where we're gonna need to find some type of body.
You got any ideas for cab or?
Man, you know, Dad got all kinds of stuff hoarded back there.
Yeah.
Say we walk out back, see what we can find. I got my eye on a couple back there. I don't know if he's gonna let us get it, though. Right here is the custom frame and the 4 links that we built for one of the biggest builds yet. It's just the beginning, actually.
Hey, Daniel, what's up?
Hey, girl, you lost? Our customer, Haley, wants us to build her a really badass truck from scratch. There you go. This is ground up as it gets. We started with a custom frame, a 4-link, and military-grade axles. We put these small wheels on for now, but we're gonna change them out for much bigger ones. With performance shocks, brakes, a crate LS, and trans.
What's he out here tearing up?
Oh!
Go up! Go, okay.
Yeah!
There you go. Perfect.
What do y'all got on your mind?
Looking for something for that build we're doing. We need a body.
Come on over here. Let's look at over here. There's a couple of trucks I got.
Usually the customer gives us a truck that they want to use, but Haley is leaving all the choices to us, including the truck.
What year? What are you
I
trying
want
to...
something old school, man.
This is a 50 model here. Something that old?
That's too rough. I mean, I love it. It's too rough.
How about a square body? I got a couple square bodies.
I like square bodies.
Okay.
What kind of square bodies you got back
Check
here?
this out over here.
Let's see.
She's rusty too.
Man, this baby been here back here a long time. Man, dude, this side's bad, bro. The cab fell down when I opened the door.
Ooh, look at the door.
Man, they
Look at
want to be
that.
able to take this thing to the mud park and to the car show. Get us to where the good stuff's at. You keep showing us junk.
You know you hiding the good stuff.
I got another one here for you to look at.
Yeah.
Man, I've been keeping it for a rainy day. This one here.
And let me see.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Man, see, now that's what I'm talking about.
How's your door closed, Robert?
Man, like a brand new one.
Yeah.
Everything. I think this is the one, D.
This is the one.
It's the one.
Tell you what, I just need the cab, front end, and possibly the bed.
How many of these you watched me work on when you was a kid?
Hundreds.
I can get it apart.
That's why you the man with a plan. The 82 square body C10 is a very desirable truck in the custom world. And once we're done with it, Haley's gonna be able to take this thing to shows and hit the mud parks on the way home. Best of both worlds, a mud truck and a show truck.
You know, I've had this 82 square body for a while now, and I was saving it for a good build. And this is gonna be perfect.
We're gonna let Dad and my Uncle Bob handle this. They've been working on these same trucks for 30 years. You know, when Dad told me this front bumper has like 15 bolts on it, I could tell you Robert cut every one of those bolts off with a torch, and we can't do that with this one.
No, if I remember right, Bob, we need to get the wipers off. We need to get that panel off. There's a bolt in there.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
I knew you'd remember. It's been a while, but we can get it apart.
I'm Bob, I'm Dave's older brother, and I'm the one that knows everything, because I'm older.
That's how you... And there goes the grill.
We've been mechanics all our lives, so we've been working on just about anything you can think of, but these square body trucks are probably our favorite.
A lot of times on these square body pickups, because of the year model, they'll have standard bolts and then they'll have metric bolts. So you like need your whole toolbox by the end of the day because you needed certain sockets.
This bumper is the hardest part. These bumpers are terrible. Even the rear bumper is a pain in the butt.
Now we can get to our core support bolts. And we can slide the front end off.
Where are we going?
Just out here. Trying to get the column loose now. There we go. All right, coming up.
We're gonna have to cut that one.
Figures. Now it's torch time. We got one of the cab bolts ripped out. It's turning inside the cab, so we're gonna have to cut it off. Come on. Watch out, watch out. Coming in hot. Let's go. We got the front end off. We got the cab loose from the frame. Ready?
Go ahead.
Now we're gonna roll the new frame in, and we can do some mocking up and see what it looks like.
Somebody ain't doing something.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, come on. Ooh, it's gonna look good, man. There's another latch.
There it is.
Perfect? Cool.
Look, I tell you what, Bob and Dad, man, they did a great job.
We would have literally still been on the front bumper after lunch. You know what I'm saying? They got this whole thing knocked out, and we still got half a day to do something good.
So now we're gonna find center of the cab, center of the frame, and just drop a whole bunch of plumb bobs and pull a whole bunch of measurements so we can make sure we get the cab centered up on the frame, because you don't want this thing all out of whack.
Here we go.
This frame is 100% square because we built it, so it makes it a little bit easier for what we're doing, trying to center everything up.
All right.
That's it right there. Now that we got the frame centered up to the cab, we're gonna go ahead and make sure it's level. So we're gonna jack this frame rail up. You good? Perfect.
Now we get to use our imaginations.
Let's do it.
All right, give me some bridgey action. So we're gonna go ahead now and we're gonna get our cab mount bracket built. So we cut this piece of metal and we're gonna take it in here on the machine. We're gonna bend it. It's gonna be a nice, pretty little hoop. Go ahead, bro. We're gonna bend one end at 90, we're gonna flip it around, bend the other end at 90. And what we'll do then is we'll cut off the excess. Wanna try it? Let's see, how's your end look? I think by the time we cut it to height, it's gonna be perfect.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Robert cut our mounts out in the plasma. That way it takes a factory bushing.
So I'll hold it while you tack it.
This side's good.
All right, D, I got this one ready. Let's get all our bushings put on it real quick.
All right, we got our cab mount built for the rear of the truck. We'll go on to the front and figure out what we gotta do up there to get this cab mounted to this frame.
Well, right now I'm measuring out for our front mount. We're gonna cut it out on the plasma table, but you know, I like to draw things out. Do my little fancy plans right here. Some people would call this a blueprint, but that's obviously not blue.
Yes, sir.
Got that rubber.
Okay. So right now we're just trying to go back and forth and get the right idea on what's gonna look the best. Even though this will all be covered up with the bumper, or you won't see it, but we'll know it's there. Yeah, it's super close. I can make that work.
Okay. There you go.
I got this front mount all tacked up on this chassis. Just gotta duplicate the other side, and then this cab will be mounted. It's all right, it's working.
Oh, getting old as hell. All right, we're gonna go up. All right. All right, that's actually not bad.
All right, now we got the front end hung on this thing. I wanna make sure that the door is not pinching the fender. If the front end is, you know, too high up, it's gonna pinch here. If it's too far down, it's gonna pinch at the bottom. So what we do is we get all our gaps set, and then we can build our mount off the front.
Man, I know one thing. Them mounts look player.
Oh yeah, once we weld them up, clean them up before it goes to powder coat, woo,
I can look right at it and tell that's gonna be strong too.
hell yeah. We got the front end all mocked up on the 85 C10. Doors fitting the fenders perfect, gaps are perfect. The core support mounts are all tacked up. So now we'll get this front end off of here. I got Robert working on a motor mount plate for the motor. We have a motor and transmission here that we're gonna use for mock-up till the new one comes in. We haven't received it yet, so we'll use the one we have here and keep on trucking. All right, whoa. 0.20, 2 degrees the other way.
How's that?
A lot better.
All right, so you moved it a mile.
Hey, it's actually 0. Don't touch it.
Don't move.
Got the motor transmission set in this thing. We got the back strapped up with some straps. We got the front blocked up here off the 4-link or the 4x4. So now we're gonna go ahead and work on these motor mounts. I get Dad to get this forklift out of my way before I keep banging my head on it. Robert got the flanges burned out. We're gonna go ahead and make this like a 2-piece motor mount. So it'll unbolt from the block and it'll unbolt here. You can pull this thing in and out fast and in a hurry. I'll notch that out. The other pipe is gonna go from here to the motor mount. See, now there's no gap. We got that tacked up. I'm gonna pull the measurement for our second pipe, and then I'll get Robert to go out there and cut it.
5 1/4, D.
Thanks, bro. Me and Robert got the mount all tacked up. As you can see, it's gonna unbolt from the engine block side and from the pipe, the flange that we made. So it's just gonna have this little pedestal. So this whole section will come out of here. I mean, you have the motor out in a few minutes, or at least we would. So now we just gotta duplicate that on the other side. Luckily, everything is square on this truck. So that motor mount and this motor mount should be the same. Be ready to go.
We're at Dragging in the Pines 2022, out here having a blast. We get to see all our friends, talk about diesels, race, see a variety of things, from an 18-wheeler to a Tesla, man. We have so many different things come out here and race each other. Man, it's like I'm in heaven. I love it here. Hey, Troy.
What's up, man?
How are you, man?
Good.
Good to
What's
see
up,
you.
Mr. Troy? How you doing, brother?
How are you?
First time I met Troy was here at Dragging in the Pines. It was about 5 years ago. We ended up doing some work with him. He's a customer and just a great guy.
I got this really cool truck. I wonder if y'all might want to look at it.
Yeah, let's
Of
look at
course,
it. What
man.
you got? Anything, bro?
1988 Silverado. I'm telling you, that's a slick old truck.
It is.
What we got, guys, I call it good bones because it's pretty much a good truck.
That's a beautiful truck, man.
Beautiful.
We got a 1988 original 4-door, 4-wheel drive. Not all original, obviously, but it's something we can work with.
Yeah.
All right, here's the problem. You can't drive it anywhere.
Really?
No. So the cool thing about it is when you steer it all the way this way to catch it from going that way, you start back over again and catch it from going that way. And it's okay as long as you have like 4 lanes.
Yeah.
It's a solid 0 to drive.
I mean, it's definitely stands out. It's got a killer look. I mean, what all you want done to it?
It's got the original motor, 350.
Oh, we gotta get rid of that.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
gotta go.
Now we're talking. Now I can see exactly why he's coming.
Well, you know, big trucks. It's got to be diesel. Got to be.
It's gotta be decent.
Got to be.
It's gotta be 1,000 horsepower right off the bat, right?
I don't know about that.
If we're going with a Cummins, what are we gonna go? 5.9, 6.7.
Let's do a 6.7. Let's give him some torque.
I might want to light the tires up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you ain't gonna might. It's
we
going
have
in
to.
like the tires though.
I mean, there we go. Let me just show you under this hood
All right,
right
Let's
here.
look at it.
Hey, I need a ladder.
You can climb on the tire if you want to.
Here, I'll get up here.
Y'all
Just-
take pictures and send them to me so I can see what it looks like.
Well, you ain't missing much. Definitely need to get the firewall cleaned up, painted to match, get rid of that old AC, put some nice updated stuff in there, and let's get rid of this 1988 Chevrolet 350. Whatever we put in it is gonna be a common rail, and it's gonna be 1,000 horsepower.
That's all?
Now, we need to put, a Hydro Boost brake system on here
So we can stop.
so we can stop.
Hey, that's kind of important when you got 1,000 horsepower.
Kind of.
It is important.
Maybe put some different tires on it just for a different look.
Yeah, it does need a taller tire on it for sure. It's definitely got an old lift kit on it.
the suspension on them, they look cool.
The
But-
leaf springs, yeah.
Leaf springs, but it rides like a log truck. They're terrible.
Back in the day, this is a cool truck, and it still is a cool truck. Getting all this out of here, cleaning it up, it just take this truck to a different level.
You said it had good bones. It's got excellent bones.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even have to wash it before we start tearing it down.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm stoked on that.
With everything he wants done, it's gonna be the perfect truck, you know, and I'm gonna have a hard time giving this one back.
This thing is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait. I love it. I love it already.
Well, let's get going,
thank you,
brother.
Tommy.
Yeah, let's get started on
Jay,
this thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Ben.
right.
Hey, come get a t-shirt.
All right, let's do it.
That truck will be screaming America in no time.
Let's get this thing back to the shop and get going on
Let's
it.
do it.
Bro, what do we got here, man?
This is our next project, brother.
It's pretty nice. What's wrong with it?
Everything as far as drivability. 45 miles an hour tops, no power, absolute gutless, man.
Oh,
And I couldn't keep it in 2 lanes. It was just all over the road. I mean, you name it. It's terrible.
no, I can see why. It's got leaf springs still. I mean, that's,
I mean, I don't think it's had a bolt turned on it since 1988, so terrible.
well, so what are we wanting to do with it, man?
The guy wants to modernize it.
This is a gorgeous truck, man. I mean, we really don't have to do much to it body-wise, so.
No, it's beautiful canvas to start out with. I mean, we'll make it work, where we can focus on what's under the hood and what's under the frame, the chassis.
We obviously got to get rid of the leaf spring. So you thinking like 4-link front and rear?
4-link front and rear on bags.
Bag it, that'd be cool.
So
You're thinking Cummins?
definitely a Cummins, big power, big torque, super drivable and reliable.
So he just really wants a bad to the bone daily driver that he can get in anytime he wants and just take down the road.
Exactly what he wants. I'm gonna let you take the lead on this because I got other things I gotta go do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, call me when it's done.
Yeah, let me know how your phone calls go, man.
All right, bro.
I'm about to start tearing down this 88 Chevy here. We got to get the engine out. We got to get the trans out. Mainly, it's a big puzzle that you got to take apart. It's best to work from the front inward. Tons of stuff that you got to get out of the way just so you can get to the engine. I'm ready to loosen up the engine mounts, get the engine hoist bolted up to it, and pull the sucker out. Finally got this old dinosaur out of this truck. Now it's time to start tearing out the suspension and get it over to the fab shops. Keep rocking and rolling.
We tore out the old leaf springs on the 88 Silverado, and we're gonna replace them with airbags. If you're talking bags in Houston, there's only one shop to go to. What's going on, Bill?
What up, man?
Good
What are
to
you
see
doing, man?
I need some parts for a build we're doing. Truck we're building on, air ride, so I knew you're the person to come to. So
What kind of truck is it?
It's a 1988 Silverado, 2500.
So you want a 2,600 pound bag, 4 of those,
But you tell me if it sounds right.
airlift 3P, control it all?
Yes, sir.
Easy enough. Cool, man.
Man,
you got
wants,
that, huh?
He wants it easy, Thanks.
See?
It's easy. I
got
know,
it.
man. That's why I came here.
Got it.
Best in the business. It's always nice coming down here and seeing you guys.
Sometimes you gotta get away from the shop, man, so.
You know exactly how that is. I know you do. Hey, real fast. I got a race with Daniel from Wide Open Garage. I was gonna see if you wanted to ride out, because I'm gonna drag his butt, dude.
What are y'all racing?
I'm racing him in my truck. My first truck, the Funky Monkey, my 01 Dodge.
And what do they have?
Some 69 Camaro. I ain't even worried about what they have.
Man, I don't know.
He's gonna be looking at them
I
taillights.
don't know.
I
So
promise
yours
you.
is diesel against their gas.
Yeah, so I guess you could say diesel versus gas, Which one do you think, man? What are you leaning towards?
Man,
you know
I'm gonna put my money on you, man.
Man, I'd do the same for you, you know that.
I'm probably gonna tell David and Daniel that same thing, just so you know.
Okay. Well, I mean, I understand, you don't want to, Well, I'm gonna put my money on both of us too, how about that?
Well, man, I wish you luck. I guess I would love to come check it out.
Thank you, Bill.
All right, man, have a safe
Thank
trip,
y'all
man.
so much. Love you
Good
guys.
luck.
Because we're converting the 88 Silverado to air ride, Chaz is building a custom cradle. It'll give us a flatter surface for the bags and a little extra lift. And of course, it's gonna look really, really cool.
I got this axle stripped down, everything's clean. Just because I have a small area here, I don't have much to work with. So I'm gonna make a big cradle that stretches over the whole thing. It'll be able to withstand an airbag lift and 4-link and all that stuff. I'm gonna take a piece of cardboard, I'm gonna draw this out, just stencil designs, a few designs, see what we like. If it's to break the wheels off the old axle, we're gonna put them on this new axle right here, then we'll be able to roll it under the truck. We'll be able to pull our measurements, get an idea of how we're gonna build this cradle. All right, I got my cardboard right here, so I'm fairly close. Notch that out. You know, I want it to weld on the center of the axle, come around the pumpkin. All right, well, my clearance looks good right here, so I'm gonna roll with that. Cardboard. I got my basic stencil laid out, so I'm gonna transfer it to metal and get it cut out. You know, designing an axle cradle like this takes a lot of time. You know, you gotta hand draw it, cutting it by hand, and then grinding it by hand and all that. It's a lot of work. You know, it doesn't come easy, but by the time everything's done, it's gonna be slick. I got the front plates and the back plate of my axle cradle. I got my bag mounts fabbed up and everything. You start tacking everything together, get this thing built. Okay, now that I got all my main structure tacked up, the only thing left to do is just cap both ends. Once I get all that tacked in, we can throw it on the axle. We start doing our 4-link tabs and get all that tied in. What you think, Matt, man? This thing's finally finished.
I love it.
I know you slicked it out on that grinder. Made it look real good. Let's get this thrown on that axle and see what it looks like, and maybe we can get it tacked in.
Let's do it.
Come my way. There it is.
We just got this axle cradle tacked in. We got everything leveled out. We got everything squared up. This thing looks freaking sharp.
There you go. Tripping. We got our motor all mocked up on the 82 C10. Now, my favorite part of all is get the shocks mocked up. All right, Robert, what's up, brother?
Man, y'all got the big boy shocks for this thing.
You gonna help me get this thing mounted up or what?
All right, well, let's stick one of these suckers up here. It looks real light. All right.
All right, this is an 18-inch travel shock. We got our ride height on our truck where we want it. Setting ride height is really up to the customer on what they're wanting to do with the truck. I'm gonna try to keep it as low as possible, but it's kind of hard keeping these trucks low with these big tires because they like to rub on everything. We're gonna have to build a mount off the frame all the ways up here for this big old shock, so we're gonna bend us a shock hoop. We'll go ahead and get some pipe bent. It might take us a couple times to get it where we want it.
All right, let off. Let off. This side looks pretty good though, right?
All right, we got our shock hoop bent. Now we're gonna go ahead and duplicate it, make another one. I like to run the tabs like this, but you have to pass them through before you weld the hoop on. It's just how I like them. It's perfect. All right, we got our shock hoops, shock tabs all mocked up. Real happy with how those come out. But it has a lot of leverage. I mean, if you gotta imagine, if this thing was this tall, I could easily grab it and bend it around. The shorter this is, the stronger it is. We're gonna go ahead and tie these together, but we have to make it where it unbolts so you can get the motor out of it. I'm gonna get Robert to cut me some flanges.
So these 4-bolt flanges is a pretty universal tab we use for anything we need to put 2 pieces of pipe together. This is what we came up with, and we've been using it a lot. I already have these saved in my system. I designed them and made them months ago. So I'm gonna cut 2 pieces of pipe, and then I'm gonna take them over to the notcher and notch them. So I'm gonna cut these at 3 inches. There you go.
Robert got it all notched out. It's gonna weld right there. Now we're gonna get the flanges welded in place. This is where we find out if Robert's measurement was perfect. If it's not, we're gonna have to bust these tacks back off and shorten this pipe up.
I ain't worried about that, bro. I already know it's right.
Look at that, beautiful.
I don't even know why you doubted me, bro.
So now these work together. So this truck was the bottom out where the shocks are hooked here. they're gonna push against each other so the force is spread out equally instead of just having nothing here and this maybe being able to be bent or break loose. This will survive some jumping for sure. You know, it's small things like having the shock tilted back. You know, it's just every year I build myself a new truck and man, they just keep getting stronger and stronger. I mean, look at these boys in Monster Jam. They're constantly tearing things up. But I mean, what gets them to win is when their truck holds up and they're able to keep running it. We do the same thing, just a little bit different budget.
Daniel, I got the tires.
So we're about to install the new wheels and tires on this square body. You know, these tires are 16/9/24, which is all around good tire. They're not too small and they're not too big. They're perfect for this build.
Right there. Hell yeah.
You know, once you start getting into too big of a tire, you know, you start having axle failure, drive shaft failure, and of course, horsepower. You know, this tire here, 300 to 500 horsepower on this size tire, it's just gonna spin them. And I mean, that's what you want. We got the tires on. I'm gonna go ahead and sit the front end back on there because it's killing me. I gotta get a vision.
You want me to climb up there some more?
Ah! All right. That was a chore getting that up there, but I had to see it.
It's came a long ways, but it's looking good.
The wheel offset is perfect. You know, it's got that stance. It looks right. We get the bumper on there, get it all trimmed out.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna look good. So we're at a point on this C10 square body. You know, we got the cab mounted, the front end all fitted nice and beautiful, got the body lines right. But man, the truck that we brought in is just a long bed, and it's just not as desirable as a short bed. You know, everyone wants a short bed, including us. Luckily, Dad, man, he had some parts that he had hoarded in the back.
This will complete the mission.
I'm loving it. Got a couple little dings, but Mario will get that touched up. I'll tell you what, get it unbolted, me and Robert will figure out how to mount it. We're not gonna run a full bed on this truck. We're gonna run just the sides like a monster truck.
There we go.
You know, if you take this thing through the bounty hole and you wanna compete with it, man, that bed will hold layers and layers and layers of mud. Without having a inside of the bed, the mud will fall right through. You don't have to carry all that weight. So lightweight is a factor, and plus, man, who wants to do all that cleaning? I got a little plan, because this bedside's kind of heavy and we don't want to stand there and hold it. So I'm gonna clamp it to the forklift, and we can bring it in with the forklift and position it where we want.
There we go.
That way me and Robert can start pulling measurements and try to figure out how we're gonna mount this thing and hold it. All right, this is working out great actually. See, now hands-free. You know, sometimes building these trucks, you gotta think outside the box, man. They're so tall. I mean, me and Dad would die holding this thing while Robert's trying to figure out a bracket to hold it. It's always a struggle with these things.
Well, man, let me go grab some pipe, bro. So let me make sure I'm following you. You're thinking
Right.
45 with a bend and then straight up?
There you go.
Okay. Well, we got our bedside set up where we want it, and we pulled a few measurements. Now we're gonna go ahead and get these pieces of pipe cut, and we'll take them to the bender, and we'll bend our 45. The whole point in this is just to be able to have something to hold the bed, because unfortunately we can't just leave the forklift on it from now on.
I found the tabs.
Awesome.
Now that we got this laid out, we'll go ahead and we'll come off with another one. We'll go to the factory bolt hole here. That way, when you ever want to pull this thing off, you unbolt here, you unbolt here from the factory mount. You can always just pull it apart.
By adding this piece here, we're gonna tie these two together. If you pull down, anything smashes down on it, it's gonna push into this and then force this pipe back into the frame. So it won't be able to tear off anything.
Now we got to do 3 more just like it to hold both these bedsides on here. The other 3 have to match this one that we just made, because you don't want to look at this side of the bed and this pipe be bent different than this pipe. It's either going to go really good or it's going to take us forever to match what we just did. One of the two.
Yay, us.
There she goes. Things are moving along real well on the 88 Silverado. We went with a 4-link suspension and air ride on this, and Chaz is working on it right now.
All right, we just finished up the axles and 4-link. Everything's looking freaking killer. The only thing we got to do now is the airbags. For the airbags to mount up on the cradle, I got to build a mount on top of the frame. So I cut a few pieces out, so we're gonna tack all these in. I got some support plates that'll hold all the strength of the bag. This thing is gonna be one pimp truck. We just got the suspension all welded out. Thing looks freaking sharp. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get it out the shop, give it a little wash down, and we'll get it over to paint, get everything painted. It'll be one sharp truck when we're done with it.
So I got my engine back from the machine shop for Tory Massey's 88 Chevrolet. We're going with a 6.7 common rail. I've got it all painted, color matched to the truck. With this particular build, we're going to shoot for about 1250, 1300 horsepower. 1,000 horsepower is fun, you know. 13 is going to be amazing. You know, everybody puts these engines together different. I prefer, so I can get my hands in here, is to put the oilers in and the tappets in before I put the crank in. It just makes it easier to get to everything for me. I got big old sausage fingers, so it's hard to get stuff in there. What I like to do next is charge that cavity with air, and then I'll fill each individual oiler to make sure we have air coming out of them. And it checks out perfectly. So now we're gonna move to our tappets, get those installed, get this engine together. This is when I get excited. Chase and Clay get excited whenever it's going together, but I get excited when I build these. I'd still be doing gasoline engines if it wasn't for Chase and Clay. The addiction that they got with the diesel. And then after I rode in one that had some horsepower, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Because, you know, especially when I was growing up, back in the late 70s, early 80s, they were not fast, didn't make a lot of horsepower. But these can. Got our first piston and rod in. Got to do this 5 more times.
We've been growing as a garage in the last few years, and it's only at the end on the 88 Silverado that you see everyone here at one place. Adding wheels and tires, getting the suspension back from powder, putting the engine in, and installing the compound turbos.
We're gonna do a compound setup on this truck. The little turbo will spool up the big turbo. Should put off a lot of boost.
This truck makes a ton more power, it's safe to drive, and it just looks killer.
Golly, man.
Yeah, what's up, Troy? Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, man.
I'm telling you, it is nasty out there today.
Dang.
But we got your truck done, and it can handle all that.
Check it out, man. Let's check it out. Don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look. Boy, that's what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I was looking for. This is good.
You happy with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, Troy?
Tommy, good to see you, buddy.
Thank you, brother.
You know, we got the main things taken care of, got the air ride on it. You know, we covered all the bases that, you know, we needed to do to make it safe to drive.
Meaning try to stay in one lane. Man, you guys did good.
Had to 4-link it. You know, had to add dual shocks in the front on each side.
I see that.
Stabilizer, airbags, all 4 corners.
Mm-hmm. We went with a 6.7 Cummins.
Yep.
It's a combination that we really like.
This is my favorite part, is to see your reaction when you look under the hood for the first time.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. To me, this is the best part.
It is the best part. We got an S467 on the manifold and an S488 is the primary, your low pressure atmospheric charger. She's making a lot of boost.
That's a lot of turbo for
exactly.
6.7.
You know, this thing's making right around 1,500 horsepower, but almost 2,200, 2,500 foot-pounds of torque.
Man, that is insane.
And wait till you see under this truck. You know, Troy, not only did we just do a super unique suspension.
We upgraded your axles. We did axle swap. Now you have disc brakes on the rear.
In the way that we set it up, you know, we integrated the bag mount, the 4-link bars, brackets, and the shock mounts all in one piece.
I see that.
It's more rigid. It gives it a better look. Super strong, and it acts as a gusset for the axle.
I see that.
Because you know, when we get this much power and this heavy of a wheel, if you ever get wheel hop, it actually bends the axle too.
Chaz, once again, just knocked it out of the park with the custom bracket.
And you're not going to break those 4-link bars. I can promise you that, or those Heims.
Is that a challenge?
That's a challenge.
No, Lord, don't do that. Don't do that.
Is that a challenge?
Just don't let me drive it.
No.
Well, Troy, what do you think?
I'm thrilled. I mean, genuinely, this is y'all really did a good job. I'd give them a solid 10 out of 10. I mean, this is exactly what I wanted. So it's a pretty exciting time.
Thank you, Troy.
Thank y'all.
When this rain clears, there's not gonna be a tire tread left on the back of this thing, because all those bald eagles are gonna be flying out from under it, and it's gonna be smoking them things off. I've already got another set of tires on the way.
Well, I knew that. He doesn't have to know that yet.
Whoa. Come on, baby. Come on.
We went with a matte gray paint for the C10 square body and the all black powder coat for the custom frame. And now we'll get this thing up on the lift and install the LS engine. Got this nice little late model 6-liter. It's got a little LS 3-cylinder head on it, little Holley intake, some injectors. This thing ought to make around 450, 500 horsepower all day long.
Come on down a little bit.
Whoa! Look how lucky we got here. I mean, this thing is close. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put the transfer case in. I ate my Wheaties today. Transmission, everything that we could do, we're gonna do before we put the body on it. The transfer case is the heart and soul of every off-road vehicle. You know, these things are billet aluminum nowadays. Back in the day, they had big cast iron 205s. If I want to run a 62-inch tall tire, all I gotta do is pop this cover off and change my gear.
Really ain't too heavy.
So we went with a Turbo 400 on this. Man, this thing is bad to the bone transmission. Rated for around 2,500 horsepower. I mean, this is what they're running in monster trucks. They run Turbo 400s or Power Glides. So, I mean, this thing is gonna last us a lifetime. Now, it's time to get these big old axles installed and these coilovers. We're gonna keep on trucking. Grab a lower link. Got our link bars all back from powder coat. Went ahead and did this red. Haley and her dad, they already got some vehicles that are this color. That way it matches. They look real nice when we're on the trailer together.
All right, so let's get the shocks, bro.
Yeah. We got this 18-inch travel coil over here, similar to what we run on the Hitman. Went ahead and powder coated the same color as all the link bars. Give it some style. So we'll go ahead and install our bump stops. What these will do, they'll slide into the can that we already got welded to the chassis. So whenever you land, it's gonna smash this. It's gonna be like landing on a pillow. All right, we got all the 4-link installed on this. Shocks are on. You wanna hit the bounty hole? Plenty capable.
What's it like working with the old man?
Ooh.
Why'd you go, ooh?
You know, sometimes he drives me crazy.
This is my question.
I know.
See how he steals my line? So now you wanna know what it's like working with him? Stressful.
You know, he'll text me in the morning, "Are you up?" I am now. I guess that means it's time to go to work.
I'm more of a morning person. Papa Bear here, not so much. You know, one great thing about Dad is if I need something, he either knows where it's sitting, or he knows who owns it, or knows where to get it. He always knows a guy.
Daniel, he's good at building mud trucks. Sometimes, you know, he'll have a vision. He says, "Man, I've been up all night thinking." And he'll say, "Hey, Dad, I think that maroon will go good with that black. And it looks good when he's done."
Yeah, buddy. You know, I think we talk a lot more crap to each other than we do working. But when it's time to work, we get it done. What more can you ask for? You know, walk out of your house and go to work with someone you love working with. And also, give them a hard time. Can't beat that. Man, it's been a long, long run for the 82 C10. When Haley came to us, she didn't bring us anything. We started with just 2 straight frame rails.
Every day, we knocked out step by step, and it just came along quick. My boy here, he knows how to make it happen.
When we were building this truck, I knew we were gonna go above and beyond. You know, I'm really proud of this build, but man, I bumped my head many, many times underneath that truck. I'm glad it's finally done. Today's the day. I gave Haley a call to come check it out.
You couldn't have picked a better day for the weather.
Yeah, I can't judge that.
Hey, David.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
When the bill's done, I'm making the call. I don't care if it's raining or snowing.
So Daniel called me. He said that the truck might be ready.
Oh, yeah. Let me holler at Daniel. Daniel, bring that thing out.
Ah, That's awesome. Amazing. I did not expect it to be this nice. When that garage door came up, I was shocked. It sounds great, it looks great, way better than I imagined. Daniel, I think this is the prettiest truck you've ever built.
Well, thank you. Oh.
I'm really impressed.
Oh, you know, I thought I was gonna take the door out for a second. What do you think?
I love it.
You know, we built the whole chassis on this truck. We brought it in and laid it all out. This is not your factory frame. And then, of course, I had to do a C10. I know y'all have a collection.
My dad and my brother and I, we love square bodies. We've been buying and building them for the past couple years. I think this one's gonna fit right in and to honestly blow them all out of the water.
Hey, now y'all have every flavor C10. If you wanna jump it, it'll handle it. You want the Ford Link on it, it's gonna flex, articulate. Like I said, you wanna do a bounty hole, you wanna drive it down to Burger King, that's on you.
And I'll look good doing it too. I mean, that maroon and black looks awesome. I love it, it's gorgeous. It looks super nice.
We just ran bed sides so the bed don't get full of mud. Easier to get to if you gotta work on something.
If you wipe that thing out on a tree, you unbolt it, put a new one on.
Okay.
So check out these wheels and tires. So we went with a 16.928 on this boy here. We went ahead and gusseted all the wheels in. So if you wanna get rowdy in this thing and jump it, or enter the bounty hole like I do, you're not gonna bend a wheel. We also went with a 18-inch travel 2.5 coilover. They have adjustment on the top, so if you want to just cruise around, you can soften it up. If you know you're gonna go out and jump, you can tighten it down and air it out.
Perfect, that's awesome.
You know, like Dad was saying, we went ahead and ran the bed sides on it, but we also made a little rack here so you can put your ice chest, strap it down. You know, you gotta have your drinks out there on the trail or the beach, you know?
Yeah.
Check out the inside. You know, this thing is a mud truck, so we didn't get too crazy with the inside. But we got her cleaned up pretty nice.
Oh, wow.
Is that clean?
Yeah, this is way nicer than I expected. It looks great.
But you know, we went ahead and Mario went in and he cleaned the floor up real good.
We got them windows rolling up and down good to keep the mud off of you, but it's only gonna be clean one time.
I know. It looks great, guys.
All right, Haley, we went with a LS3 crate engine on this, but we did do a cam, intake, and injectors. You know, this thing's gonna put out 500-600 horsepower. With this tire and this lightweight of a truck, I'll tell you what, you're gonna have your hands full.
I'm excited. I mean, I already saw you pull out of the garage full speed, so that was awesome. That 500 and 600 horsepower is plenty for us. We've put this engine in other square bodies, so my brother and I and my dad, we're gonna be familiar with this engine if we ever need to work on it. They went above and beyond with the powder coat, the adjustable coilovers, and the LS3 engine. This truck is everything that I wanted and more. I'm just hoping I can keep up with you and my dad out on the trails.
I think your dad gonna have a hard time keeping up with you.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys hit it out of the park.
You know, I'm really proud of this build. You know, normally we don't go for too much of the show. We go for the go and reliability. But man, this thing turned out ridiculous.
It is really cool when a client just turns us loose, do what we do. You know, that thing really come out good, and I'm glad we pulled it off and they're happy with it.